We have our last round players. We have Paul back in his seat, running Imminent Doom.
We saw that earlier.
We should have seen this coming.
Yep, it was imminent.
Yep, and then we have him playing against Mark on Mono Blue Flyers, the odd aggro blue deck.
Yeah, well, blue right now has some pretty strong, like, Zahid, Jinn of the Lamp, I believe, is a 5/6, kind of the old Mahamodi Jinn stats.
Tempest Jinn with variable power.
Yep, it's a 0/4, or X4, base star 4, whatever you want to call it, for the amount of islands you have in play.
Right.
Is its power. It's also a flyer. Stuff like Siren Storm Tamer, which is a 1-drop.
Hope of Girapur. Yep. The 1/1 Thopter, legendary.
Yep. So Zahid here is important because you can actually cast him on 4, cheat him in if you have an artifact in play, which Hope of Girapur and other kind of 1-cost artifacts are. And 5/6 flyer for 4 is just an insane rate.
Yeah.
Doesn't die to almost all the red removal. Doesn't take care of it. So you need like flat removal in black or white or something usually to take care of it. And once it's on the field, it's very, very hard to deal with.
With Mark's deck being named Mono Blue Flyers, I would also not be surprised to see favorable winds.
Yep, favorable winds
which
is
gives
available.
+1/+1 to all flying creatures that he controls.
That's correct.
So not just a
I'm interested.
blue curve deck.
Yeah.
Looking at aspects of creatures as well.
I like Siren Storm Tamer because it acts as kind of like a pseudo hexproof counterspell to a bunch of things. You can sacrifice it to counter a spell that targets you or one of your creatures.
Yep.
Which is pretty solid.
I like Hope of Girapur because once it hits, you can take your opponent off casting spells their whole next turn.
Yeah, or at least until
if you are in an advantage position, deal
push
damage
it down,
and then shut them out for a turn.
I'm interested to see if Mark is running Curious Obsession. I know in the previous kind of mono bluey flyer deck, Curious Obsession kind of like works as kind of a hexproof boggly kind of engine for mono blue flyers.
Very good card draw engine.
Yep. So if you could plop that on one of your 1/1 flyers or something that's gets out on the board quickly that has evasion, then it can quickly spiral out of control and refill your hand as quickly as you like.
Problem here being once you are unable to attack, you lose the obsession.
Well, that's why you have flyers.
That's why you fly over the old blockers.
Yeah, well, this is interesting. I don't know. We don't know if Mark actually knows what Paul is playing, but we saw earlier he was on Imminent Doom with not a ton of flying answers.
Not a ton of flying, but he does have a lot of burn.
A lot of burn in hand, yep.
So between the Imminent Doom triggers, the shocks, and the lightning strikes, it might be hard for Mark to stick a creature on the board.
Yep. But we also see that Mark is playing blue, so he might have some counter spells himself to deal with. Some of Paul's shenanigans.
He also might have some bounce spells, which might be a way to deal with an Imminent Doom that might be getting too big.
Oh, that's right, because it would lose all its counters.
Correct.
So it looks like Paul has two... Oh no, he has...
2 shocks, Opt, Banefire, and Search.
Is that Banefire or Gutters? Oh, that's Banefire, yeah, that's the old...
With 2 lands, that's very keepable.
That's fine. Search will help him get there. Mark has 3 islands, Starfleet Aerialist, Tempest Jinn, Spell Pierce.
Favorable winds was at the back.
Ooh, Spell Pierce is spicy. Spell Pierce seems like a wonderful card versus Paul's deck.
Oh yeah. Looks like he drew a second copy of it.
Ooh. So Paul will opt on end step. Try to fix his hand a little more. Decides to keep it on top.
Now, I was just thinking about the bounce spell. I was just looking up Imminent Doom's rulings. The damage is equal to the number of counters on it as the ability resolves. So if it's returned to hand, it would have 0 counters on it.
Interesting. So you could do that in response to something and kind of.
And so the cast trigger goes on the stack, and it does. Yeah. I don't know if it'll come up, but
good to know.
We'll see.
So Paul scryed another Spire Bluff Canal to the top.
Perilous Voyage. There's a bounce spell, and that's in the graveyard. So we do see that Mark is running bounce spells in his deck.
What did he target anything?
Not sure. He had to target something or discard it.
Oh, it was Azcanta.
Okay.
Okay, so he did get Azcanta down, and then he Perilous Voyage. Azcanta scryed 2. Alright.
Makes sense. Tempest Djinn on the board. 3/4
We talked about
flyer.
that. There's 3 islands, so it's a 3/4 flyer.
Solid return on mana cost.
Absolutely. And when you're a single color of blue, it's the mana cost isn't too bad.
No.
So for Paul to deal with this, he might actually have to burn double shock, right? Is that the only?
He does have 2 shocks. The 4 toughness never gets bigger, so it's always going to be something 4.
So he's deciding right now what he wants. He's going to bin the mountain off the Azcanta trigger.
Drew an Imminent Doom. I think that would be the play right here. Mark is tapped out.
Yep.
He's on islands. You know he's running counter spells. We saw the bounce spell. Just get your Doom down there so you can amplify all your spells.
Did he pull another Perilous Voyage? Yep, that's
sure
another
did.
Perilous Voyage. Looks like he wants to slam favorable winds.
Makes sense. Now
Buff up all his creatures, which actually
Djinn
makes
has
the Djinn
5
5.
toughness
Yeah.
now.
That's actually going to be really tough for Paul to deal with.
So that's a 5/5.
Does Imminent Doom do damage to creature or player?
Any target.
Oh.
Or, I believe you can deal damage to planeswalkers as well.
I think that one got eroded,
I'll
right?
double check that also.
Sure.
No, it's just creatures or players.
Okay,
has
so
not been
is
errated
it-
to planeswalkers.
Alright. Starfleet Airless comes out because of the raid trigger to 2/3, and with favorable winds it's a 3/4.
So Mark off to a very fast start.
Yeah, this blue deck is looking mightily aggressive. See what Paul decides to do on this turn.
So this is just Paul's 4th turn,
Yep.
and he's already staring down a 5/5 and a 4/3. Or
A 5/5 and a
3/4.
4/3.
3/4.
3/4, yeah.
so he's already staring down half his life total next turn.
Yep. And the shock only gets rid of, let's say, Aerialist.
And it takes 2 of them.
Yep. Well, it only take 1 because you can get the trigger.
It's a 4/3. He gets the 1 damage off the Doom.
Yeah.
You're correct.
No, it's a
And-
3/4. It's a 3/4. It wouldn't. He still need 2.
Math is so hard.
So it's a 3/4. Because the Doom trigger is only 1, and shock would be 2.
So that would be 3 damage.
3 damage. Not enough for the Aerialist or the Djinn. Wow.
Aerialist is a 3/4. Djinn is a 5/5.
Wow. That favorable wins put this.
It's a great card.
That really put the creatures out of reach
when
really
every
quickly.
creature in your deck flies, favorable
Yeah.
wins is amazing.
Yeah. That's crazy.
We got Jake pulling it up for us. Even grabbed the right art for it. Great job, Jake. That's Jake, our tech guy.
That is Jake, our tech guy.
Jake, you know what Jake the tech guy told me earlier?
What's that?
He's thinking about getting back into playing Magic.
Oh, is he coming back?
Core set might have gotten him.
Oh, okay. I'm excited.
So maybe
It's been a couple years since Jake's been seriously playing Magic.
I might need to update that profile slide about the untap step.
Lightning Strike.
So he already triggered the shock.
Okay, that makes sense. So he.
So lightning strike for 3 plus 2 off the imminent doom. Gets
Well-
rid of the Djinn.
So what he did was actually shock, trigger the imminent doom to the Djinn. So there's 3 damage mark on the Djinn, and then I believe he lightning struck his face, triggered the doom for 2 more to finish off the Djinn.
Makes sense.
Yep. But that Perilous Voyage makes him reset his imminent doom altogether
Reset,
again.
and there's still a lot of damage coming through in the air from the pirate.
That's still 3. Yep. And I believe he still has spell. We haven't yet seen
He's got
spell
Spell
pierce.
Pierce in hand, and now
Yeah.
Paul has yet to see a counter spell.
Right.
He's only seen bounce.
The big thing is if he plays imminent doom here, spell pierce can do it.
And there's
Spell pierce for 1.
it looked
Yep.
like he almost went to tap 2 mana.
Yeah,
Okay.
he got that fixed up. So without the imminent doom, Paul might actually have
So
to.
he needs to untap the air list. There we go.
And he plays a second copy of Tempest Djinn.
So much big flyers. And that's now a That's a 7/5 flyer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Jin got bigger.
Oh yeah, it got bigger.
The islands kept coming, and the Jin got bigger.
Jake the Tech Guy. The reason he got back in on court in 2019, the Goblins.
Siege Gang Commander is a real card.
So search flips. We're now at Escanta, but it
Yep.
might be too late.
Yeah, I mean Paul needs. I don't
He needs
even
to
know
deal
what
5
Paul.
damage to the Jin.
Yeah,
He needs to deal 4 damage to the Aerialist.
we saw Banefire. Banefire can deal 5.
Yep. The
Yep.
Jin is the biggest threat, and it's uncounterable and can't be prevented. So.
Yep. But Mark's still coming in for 3 right here.
Yeah, Mark doesn't seem upset about losing that Jin. And he still has a second Spell Pierce. Because I've
Oh.
only seen him play, or I believe he might have a second one.
Let's see. I'm
I
not
don't
exactly sure.
No, he's only got 1 card, and he's holding an island.
I think he has 2.
Well, that's not counterable anyway, so... Alright, so Paul might have stabilized. No. Just has 1 card in hand.
Oh, yep. He's on
So,
lands.
Can Paul turn this around? He stabilizes
Yeah.
6. So now Mark can't get more than 1 threat on the board before Paul gets to respond. So Imminent Dooms gets through. So
I think Paul is fine as long as Mark doesn't have card draw spells. He goes with Siren Stormcaller? No,
Yep.
no, not Stormcaller. Storm Tamer?
no, not Storm.
It explores 1.
Yeah.
Look out. It's a 1/2 explores 1. River's Rebuke comes off the top.
Now Paul responding to the Explore trigger. Shock is enough to kill it before the Explore.
Yep. Explore
Mark
trigger
still gets the
happens.
Explore's trigger.
Yep. River's Rebuke on the top, which he decides to keep because he feels as though River's Rebuking the Imminent Doom might be a decent play
Yeah.
for him.
But the key thing there, Paul needed to respond before the Explorer.
Yeah, with the Explorer's trigger on the stack, there's a lot of things you can do. Tips for you guys at home, if you guys play a lot of Standard, is you can respond to, say, Merfolk Branchwalker or Jade Light Rangers Explorer triggers and taking them out before the counters hit them, or, like we saw earlier, Champion Wits. With that trigger on the stack, you can take care of Champion Wit stuff.
Sure
quite a
can.
bit. Yep.
So, opt Shock. The Imminent Doom is already up to 2 counters.
I actually think Paul had if Banefire. Oh, he chooses Banefire. Yep. With Banefire
Okay.
and doing 8, I think he still has a path to victory.
He's not out of this at all.
Not at all.
Mark stuck with just
Rivers
the River's Rebuke. So he played the island, showed that he didn't have anything in hand.
Yep.
So the only play here is to bounce the Imminent Doom if it gets too bad. Paul has 2 1-mana spells in hand, which will get it right up to 3 counters immediately.
Looks like he's going to just continually fill his hand with Search for Escanta.
Looks like a second Imminent Doom and a Shock.
Looks like he's going to take the second copy of Imminent Doom, letting him basically cast spells at different numbers if he needs to.
Well, right here, I believe... Okay, so he plays Imminent Doom on 1. I think on Mark's turn, he will likely bounce both Dooms.
Right, with River's Rebuke.
If you're playing Imminent Doom, it is very nice having them on the same number.
Yeah, because then you just get double triggers for what you want.
You don't need to keep different mana cost cards in hand. You just fire them all off. So they're both going back.
Yep.
So now Paul on his turn can cast both Imminent Dooms.
And the Shock.
And then the Shock and Opt at the same time.
Oh.
He casts
So-
one, and while that's on the stack, casts the other.
He gets 2 triggers.
He gets extra damage out of the Imminent Dooms.
That's sweet.
Because they deal damage equal to the number of counters on them.
Yeah, I think Paul's turned the corner here. Oh, he has no more shocks, but he has Cathartic Reunion.
He also has Banefire, which only costs 1.
Oh yeah, that's right. He can make
Looks
X.
like discarding a Braid and an Imminent Doom, so he's only going to keep the 1 Imminent Doom.
All right, so
Mark indicating no response. look like a gutter snipe.
A couple lands.
Yep.
I think Paul will pop out the Imminent Doom here. Or the gutter
snipe.
Yep.
He while he was in here, even though the deck says Imminent Doom, I think he feels it's more of a gutter snipe deck. So
he does not get a trigger off of Imminent Doom because it's enchantment.
But right now, next turn, if he has a 1-mana spell, that represents whatever the 1-mana spell does plus 3 damage.
Right. And the big thing about the Djinn right now is also has 5 toughness, but if Paul's able to rock off a couple of spells in the right order, he should be able to take care of it.
He can get to 5 pretty easily.
Yeah, like
with the Imminent Doom.
I think if he actually plays Banefire for 1 to pop Imminent Doom and then a Braid for 2, he should be able to take care of the Djinn and still get the triggers.
The thing is, he has to take care of the Djinn.
Yes.
If he does not, that's game over.
Yeah. Which
Mark does have Spell Pierce in hand. We saw that on his hand cam.
Oh, did he pick up another one?
We just saw it on the cam, yep.
So let's say he wants to do that. Paul has the Banefire for 1, which costs 2, and then a Braid for 2, and then he would have 4 available still. Spell Pierce.
He cannot. I think the X is throwing you off on the Banefire. He has the Banefire for 0 if he wants to do that, but by doing it at full value, so he's paying 6 mana to deal 5 damage. 5 is the magic number
just
on
to
the
kill
Banefire
it.
because now it can't be countered.
It can't be countered.
Can't be prevented.
Yeah, just.
He also got 2 damage to Mark off the gutter snipe.
Yep, I think he very well might have turned the corner right here.
Yeah, keeping the board clear is very important for him.
Yep.
As long as there's no significant threat on Mark's side, Paul should be able to finish
take this
up.
home. Gutter Snipe could even pound it for 2 here, bear style.
Yep.
Now these are the kind of bears I like. Although this one costs 3, which I
it's
don't
a
like.
3-mana bear.
Yeah.
Syncopate. There's the Ireland shirt also. Syncopate again and a Lightning Strike. I think Lightning Strike feels good.
Yeah.
Mark only has 1 card in hand.
Lightning Strike represents 5, potentially 7 damage depending on where Imminent Doom is.
Yeah. Now, Syncopate is a 1-mana spell, which means that he wouldn't have to waste that Banefire that's all the way in the back.
Oh, that's true. But Syncopate, he has to have a target for as well. I think he's trying to do some quick mental math.
Right now, I believe Paul is on the... okay, he went with the red spell.
Yeah, because Lightning Strike is at least 5 damage,
Yep.
so he needs to do 8 more if he plays Banefire.
Right now, I think that Imminent Doom is for decoration.
Yeah.
I don't think we're working on getting counters. We're going off the gutter snipe for the win.
Yeah.
Which Mark is already down to 11. He can easily get 9 damage. That's 5. He only needs to get 5 damage plus... That would be 6 triggers. The gutter snipe makes the math much easier to get to.
That's true.
Is what I'm trying to say.
So Lightning
So
Strike,
like you said, this is 5
trigger,
damage.
that's 5 damage.
And even with that, that's 2 damage. You can also pay 2 to get the spell through.
He'll just pay 2.
Yep. So there's 5 damage. Mark down to 6. And Paul can cast his Walking Ballista here, or he can Banefire.
Oh yeah, you can just straight Banefire to the face.
Yep.
And since it can't be countered,
Banefire it is.
to the face.
That did it.
Yep, we're going to game 2.
That was a very quick, impressive start for Mark.
Yeah, I'd like to see something in his instead of like say the Siren. What's that called?
Siren Lookout.
Lookout. Something along the lines of like a draw spell or something to get him more cards.
If he had gotten out Hope of Girapur or Siren Stormcaller,
or Siren Stormcaller,
he would have been able to keep that thread on and get the last points of damage.
Agreed.
So on that one, it looked like, to me, the early game, he was able to keep the board clear. He bounced Search for the Scanta, he bounced an Imminent Doom.
Yep.
But if he had one more cheap threat before Paul was able to stabilize, I think he would have had it.
Yeah. That's the thing with the mono blue decks, is that they can come up on you real quick and you just do some damage, and then otherwise it just it can kind of run out of steam pretty quick as well.
Yep. And then, like you're saying, the Siren Lookout, it had the Explore trigger, but if he had some way to draw, to fill his hand up, because once he was down to just the land...
Yep. It gets really
the
rough
game
when
got
you're top decking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was no point where he could draw enough cards just by top decking to outrun the burn in Paul's hand.
Or the draw, because we saw the Cathartic Reunions, the Ops, that sort of
Search
thing.
for Ascantas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Paul just ended up getting them on cards.
Yep. Favorable Winds did work that game, though.
It made it much harder to kill the Djinns.
Yep.
That's for sure.
So I see some Charter Courses in there. That might be great. Charter Course seems great because if you get off on that blue, kind of like super fast blue start, you could Charter Course draw 2.
Refill your hand, yeah.
Yeah, draw 2 for 2 is Legacy playable. Looks like, I want to say that's Stormcaller, or Dreamcaller Siren he might be bringing in. It's a
4 mana.
4 mana, 3/3 with Flash, and if you control 2 pirates, tap other creatures your opponent controls.
Bringing it in mainly for the body.
Yep, and being able to
can
play
also
it.
surprise the Gutter Snipe.
Yeah, being able to play it at the end of your opponent's turn or during the blocking phase is very important, I think. I would like to see Mark bring in some draw cards, though, because I think if he had been able to see like 2 to 3 more cards, there's a possibility he wins that game.
Oh, yeah. He got him very close.
Yeah.
But like you said, all the card advantage that Paul had, he was able to find the stuff he needed and get out of it.
Absolutely.
And once he cleared the board, it was just turned around. So it looks like they're both going a little deep on the sideboard.
Yeah, I wonder what Paul's going to be bringing. I think he probably, knowing with all the creatures in play, he might bring in slightly more creature interaction. Things that can deal with flyers, basically. Or take care of stuff before that favorable winds comes down.
His burn spells are not bad at keeping up with the flyers.
Yeah.
So I'd be fine just counting on my burn spells. The favorable winds was a problem.
Yep.
But once the Imminent Doom was adding damage, it wasn't that bad.
Yep. I wonder maybe he might consider taking out the Syncopates as well.
When he was in here after round 2, he did say that's one of the ones he took out against Steve.
Because at some point, Mark stops running out of mana, sort of thing. Like
Right.
his stuff is pretty cheap, costed.
We saw how many islands he ended up
Exactly, and then Tempest Djinn costs 3.
with. You're not
So
going to
he-
out-syncopate.
Exactly, so it might be worth it for him to take out those cards feeling like they might be a little dead, seeing something with more interaction. Even an
Right.
additional burn spell here and there, Chandra, something like that.
We will see. It looks like they're done sideboarding, just shuffling up, and then we'll see how it goes from here.
Yep, we're getting ready for Game 2 underway for Round 3 here for Other Realms FNM.
You know what, Alex?
What's that, Andy?
I was just about to go on and say we're getting ready for Game 2 and round number 3, our last round here at FNM at Other Realms.
It's almost like we're in the exact same mindset.
You beat me to it by a hair. So,
We'd make a good two-headed giant team.
right?
Yeah. Finish each other.
It's like we've been doing this for a couple weeks.
A little bit. We're starting to get a
the
groove.
hang of it.
Yeah, little groove.
We did it again!
Yeah. I'm glad all of you are joining us here for our. I guess this is almost our month stream at this point. We're getting there.
Just over a month.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. I know we're not right up at the top of the list, so thanks for finding your way to us.
Absolutely. It's late where a lot of people are. If you're coming
Yep.
back, just relaxing from your FNM, if you have any interesting stories or any kind of interesting games that you saw tonight, feel free to share it with us or just anything you want to chat about.
All right, so we got our hands. Paul with a one island opt hand.
Thank you so much, Kairos. We're glad that you're with us as well. Is Paul keeping a 1-lander?
It's got Opt and Imminent Doom. You know what that means.
I mean, it's imminent.
It's imminent. He's going to find lands.
I'm going to judge Paul here just for a second.
Well, look, he found a
because we're
land.
good buddies, he did find
just
another
found a
land.
land.
All right, fair
It
enough.
was imminent. He knew.
That's true. We got double ops here. All right. Both these gentlemen are taking the opportunity to take a look.
In Mark's hand, I did see a dive down,
Yep.
which will save one of his creatures from those burn spells that were getting fired at.
Hexproof is a thing. +0/+3 is also
That's right.
a thing.
He also had the Siren.
I
and
see the
believe it was
lookout
the
and the dream caller in hand. Yep.
So, Paul resolving the Opt. Looks like he found another land.
All right. So he's ready and loaded to get up to imminent doom at 3.
And he has an Opt in
Okay.
hand.
All right.
So, Paul's all set.
He's ready to activate. I see. So Mark hits his
Here
third
comes-
land drop. He's going to play. Oh, Syncopate.
Syncopate
Ooh, he
on the
did keep
first
him
flyer.
in. All right.
Interesting. So, no exploring for Mark.
Yep.
And the flyer is exiled.
Yep.
So, I'm hoping we see an Imminent Doom. That kind of look like Chandra.
It's not a. I mean, imminent doom would be perfect to play here because Mark is tapped out.
You guys can't see. I'm rubbing my hands hoping.
Andy is like excited.
There we go.
All right.
Imminent Doom.
Imminent doom is down.
Let's do this.
All right. Mark comes back. He has his 4th land. He might wait.
Paul is tapped out.
Yeah, he might wait till the end of Paul's turn to play that Dreamcaller Siren.
It does have flash.
It doesn't flash. It's
Thank
good
you for
timing.
the image there, Jake. I gotta go build that Nicole Bolas deck now.
You're ready.
Oh. All right.
All right.
So he is waiting.
Phew, the second copy.
Oh, this is how you play Imminent Doom.
This is spicy. Okay. So the next op will trigger twice.
That's right.
End of turn, Mark's going to flash in that Dreamcaller.
Okay.
He's going to at least get 3 damage out of it. The big thing is... Ooh,
He drew River's Rebuke.
I see River's Rebuke, but he's
One land short.
Wait, is that Perilous Wage? I also see a Perilous Wage in hand.
That would help get rid of the Imminent Dooms.
Alright, so he's going to take care of 1, and he's going to get to scry 2.
Now, I'm pretty sure that it works the way I said. If you bounce it, it deals 0 damage. So I'm not sure if that's an interaction he'd be interested in. Right now, he's just getting rid of it. So,
Yeah.
bounce back to hand, and he got the swing for 3.
Oh, if it's 2 or less, he gets to scry 2. That's what
Yeah.
it is, yeah.
So, Paul, if he has an extra land, has the Imminent Doom Opt available to him. I don't believe he has a 4th land.
If he has a shock, he can actually take care of the Siren, too.
He sure can.
So we'll see how it goes. This is probably a pretty key turn
He
for
has
both
Gutter
players.
Snipe in hand.
Yep.
If we can get Paul's hand cam, I'd appreciate it. He's thinking over it pretty hard. Thank you, Jake, Tech Guy. So,
Banefire, Imminent Doom, Gutter
Opt,
Snipe,
Syncopate.
Gutter Snipe.
okay, and that is a shouter in the back.
Yeah.
So, he's opting, trying to find that land drop,
Yep.
and triggering the Imminent Doom for 1.
To the face. Alright, so let's see what happens here. He finds the land drop, but this is a
It's
tap
tapped.
land. Yeah. He will keep it, though, because he's going to need the 4th land anyway.
And he still has Syncopate mana.
Yeah,
as
he can
long
still
as
syncopate
Mark
for 1.
tries to go for something expensive.
Yeah.
So, and Syncopate for 1 triggers Imminent Doom for 2.
Yeah, that's right.
So, Mark is also opting. Did not like it, put it on the bottom.
So Mark also has another Dreamcaller. So we'll see if he slams it here.
Favorable
wins. Yeah.
That did some very good work for him last
Yeah.
game. Not quite enough, but it helped a lot.
Alright, so favorable wins again.
And that's now a 4/4 Dreamcaller.
Yep. He's gonna
Syncopate.
He's going to syncopate to trigger the imminent doom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gets to deal 2 damage with it. Now, Mark has an option to pay here.
Mark decided not to pay for favorable wins. Interesting.
So he's representing a 2-mana spell to Paul right now. Or he just wanted to play his...
Kite Sail.
Yep.
It gets
The
a raid
Aerialist.
token. Yeah, it's 2/3. Oh, not Kite Sail. It's a Stormcaller Aerialist.
Stormfleet Aerialist.
Stormfleet Aerialist.
So yeah, it gets a +1/+1 counter because of raid trigger.
Yep.
So 2/3. Without the favorable wind, math is much easier.
Yeah, that's true.
And no Tempest Gin. This is like...
I think I see another copy of favorable wins in Mark's hand.
Which might be another reason why he wasn't too concerned.
Yep.
No, Paul is up to 3 on the Imminent Doom, which means second Imminent Doom triggers it, Gutter Snipe triggers it.
And
What's the second?
The second Imminent Doom will deal 3 to something, which will take care of the
Dreamcaller down.
Dreamcaller. Yep.
And now you can start the ladder again at 1.
Now things get really sweet when you have 2 Imminent Dooms on the table.
It gets very nice, especially once the second one catches up to the first one. Because I do not expect to see a 4-mana spell until they're both on 4.
Absolutely. We know Mark has River's Rebuke.
He does.
But Paul also has Syncopate still, right?
And Mark is 1 land short.
Right.
So now Paul trying to figure out the best way to get these Imminent Doom triggers to go off.
Oh, actually, no. He used the second Syncopate.
Looks
So
like he's on
Chandra will trigger.
Oh, he did trigger it to get rid of the...
Oh, dive
down to save it.
Yep.
Okay, so now...
The thing is, Chandra can just minus and also just kill it. Oh, no. It actually has hexproof
It's hexproof
now.
for
It's
the
hexproof.
turn.
That's right. You're right. And +0/+3 for that matter.
Yeah. So how big does that make it?
So right now, it's a 2/6, I believe.
I would concur. It starts 1/2 +1/+1 +0/+3.
Yep.
2/6 sounds right to me.
It's a 2/6.
Notice I made you do the math first. Though,
Yeah,
so
I had to think about it.
Yeah.
And the second
Dreamcaller.
Dreamcaller comes down at the end of Paul's turn.
So that's going to be able to attack, which that represents lethal for Chandra. He needs to untap the Aerialist.
It's only 3 to Chandra, right?
Plus the Aerialist.
Oh, plus the Aerialist. Yeah, right.
Mark just forgetting to untap it, but that is a required part of the turn.
Yep, and he played another favorable winds.
So now they're even bigger. Now I'm definitely not going to jump before math.
Yep.
To do math before
Well,
you. I'm going to let you figure this one
He
out.
decided to go to the face.
Well, look at Paul's life total.
Yep, so he decided to deal 7 to the face.
That could be a risky call.
Yep. Well, we'll see right now. Because
I'm not sold on it, but I understand it.
So the thing is, Chandra should be able to take care of the Stormcaller.
Chandra can take out one of them, and the
whatever
Dooms should be able to take
exactly.
out the other.
I believe he has a Banefire in hand, right?
He does.
Yeah. So yeah, he does have a Banefire in hand, so he should be able to take care of both of those
Now,
objects.
Paul can work that one Imminent Doom. Banefire for 0, Pull from Tomorrow for 0, Gutter Snipe.
Yeah.
And that's represents 6 damage off that Imminent Doom with 1 counter on it.
I think Paul has multiple lines where he can trigger a ton of damage.
He sure does.
Yeah.
That's one of the best things about Imminent Doom. You don't see the damage until it's hitting you in the face.
So he's going to I think the most efficient way to deal with one of those is just to Chandra take care of one. And he knows that... I think he knows he has to take care of the Stormfleet Aerialist.
Now, he could do Banefire X = 4, deal 4 damage to the Aerialist, and trigger the Imminent Doom to deal 5 damage to Mark.
Yes, and make the number go up
Right.
to 6.
It looks like that's the plan here.
Yeah.
Indicating the trigger on the Imminent Doom.
Yep.
Targeting the Aerialist.
Yep.
And then 5 damage to Mark.
Moving the Imminent Doom counter to 6.
And Mark, once again, no flyers on board.
He wants to see a land pretty badly. Tempest Djinn.
So it's a 5/5.
5/5.
Or 6/5.
6/5 right now, yep.
I said I wasn't going to do math, and I just attempted it, and we saw the result.
It represents lethal on board.
But it needs to survive, and that's
Correct.
a lot of Imminent Doom damage. Plus, Paul can actually see an extra card this turn. Drew a Lightning Strike.
Lightning Strike.
No, I'm sorry, Shock.
So
Shock
will
triggers the
trigger.
Imminent
So you can get 3 damage from that total.
I believe we're going to see a Chandra tick up first.
Yeah, I think he has to. Well,
He's setting up his mana like he has. He might have already determined how this turn's going, but
let's see.
I
Can we see
think-
Paul's hand again?
I think you tick up Chandra first. Yeah, shock in hand.
Pull from tomorrow. So you can pull for tomorrow for this
For the 2 mana.
for the appropriate amount, right?
Yeah. So maybe lead with a gutter snipe, then a shock, then a pull from tomorrow for 0. Okay, so we're gonna see with Chandra.
Yeah.
Or actually,
He should
like
pull
he's adding for mana.
Yeah, he should just pull for tomorrow for 6, or like for the exact 6 to trigger, so you can kill the Tempest Djinn.
So he got mana from Chandra. He's got 6 mana there.
Yeah, pull for tomorrow for 6, or well for 4, but
X equals 4.
Yeah, X equals 4.
Triggers the Imminent Doom for 6.
Yeah.
So that's 6 damage to the Djinn.
Yep.
And he's drawing 4 and will have to discard 1. 2 negates, land search. So discard the land.
Maybe
Discard
the
a
negate.
One of the
Yeah,
negates.
just drop one
He
of
has
the
an
negates.
extra.
We'll see. He decides to land. That's totally fine too.
So we'll probably cast shock to get that counter up.
Yeah,
On
but
the second Imminent.
he'll probably take a look after. Oh, here
Yeah.
comes that River's Rebuke.
So may as well get the trigger.
Oh.
Oh, negate. We just watched him draw the negate.
Yeah, 1 of 2.
We just watched it, and I
know.
completely forgot he had it
know.
already.
It's alright, Andy. It's late.
It's Hawaii time.
That's true. We're not late. We're on
It's
Hawaii
late on the
time.
mainland. It's not late here. There's no excuse.
Does Mark no longer have a hand at this point? I believe.
Mark,
I think that's
has
it.
no hand.
Yeah, because he picked up the land and then he played his last card, which
I
is
feel like
River's
we're on
Rebuke.
dodgeball, where you're making the commentary and I'm repeating.
Bold move, Cotton. So we get that gutter snipe going.
He does have a gutter snipe on the board, Alex.
Oh, that was a bold move, Andy. The second gutter snipe goes. So the shock will trigger for 6 damage here.
Usually you have to pay extra for that sort of stuff.
7 damage. A shock will deal 7 with the Imminent Doom.
2 from each gutter snipe plus
Yep.
the Imminent Doom. Yep.
Yep, that's a good deal of damage.
1 mana. Not
Yeah.
a bad deal.
Not bad. 7 damage for 1. That's a good rate. There's that shock.
He's counting off the triggers.
Do the math with you. 2, 4, 6, 7.
Mark down to 8.
Yep.
Off 1 mana shock.
So a lightning strike next turn would pretty much
He has
finish
search
us
for his
off.
Skanta in hand.
And a lightning
And
strike.
lightning strike. There you go. Turn that one right around.
Lightning strike. Trigger, trigger, trigger. 2, 4,
9
7,
damage.
8, 9.
Yep.
Yep.
Mark got so close both games.
Yeah.
But once those Doom counters got up there and he was able to stack the damage right.
Yep. Once he ran out of kind of draw effects,
Yeah.
you just ran out of gas. Like.